All right, we're back with Jenna. Loosely tell us your dream project and pretend budget, personnel, and anything else are not an issue.
I would say, kind of going back to something that I said before of like different eras in time, I would love to have somebody have, kind of authentic costumes and the hair and makeup and do different eras like, 20s, 40s, 70s, 1800s. I would love to have something where I get like corseted up in all the real, kind of clothing styles. I think that would be really cool. So obviously that you need the budget for, like I said, the real costumes, hair, makeup, all that kind of stuff. But I always thought that would be cool.
Do you know anybody in the theater industry that is in that particular department?
Actually, not in that department. No, I mean, I do know living in New York City and, during my roommate's era, I knew a lot of guys in production, like lighting, things like that in different shows. But I never met anybody in the costume department.
Hmm. Um. Anyway, we'll move on. Uh, I have thoughts on that. We'll talk off camera. What's one of your strangest shoot requests?
Strangest
And
shoot
you can interpret this
request
as one you have either accepted or not
or not.
accepted.
Well, I mean, one realm of photography is the fetish world, which I do some limited stuff like stockings and garters and like some like latex clothing, things like that. Probably the tamer side of it all, but I have definitely gotten requests for different things that I didn't even know were considered a fetish. Um,
I'm going to have to ask. Go
I know.
ahead.
Well, just things like the balloon popping or trying to think of what else. It's a wide range that, especially if you're new into the modeling world, you're kind of like, and that's all you want me to do when I get there. And absolutely no judgment from my part, by the way. Everybody's into their own thing. But I will say, when I first got into the modeling world, some of those requests, I was a little dubious that I was like, that's all that's required when I get there.
Um, are you reading anything right now?
Yeah, I'm actually always reading something. I'm a big reader for sure. Right now, I'm about to finish the Britney Spears memoir that my little sister lent to me, which was really interesting. And I actually am part of every October, a publishing group has this big book club meeting that you get a couple of free books. You see a speaker talk. One year, Sally Field came and talked about her memoir, so I got to meet her and have my book signed, which was really cool. But I'm a big reader for sure, so I've got a large TBR pile, to be read pile.
Does your bookshelf, is it kind of like overflowing like mine?
It is for sure. And I have, kind of a typical smaller New York City apartment. So the bookshelf, I don't cook a lot. So the kitchen is turned into like a half library situation where they all go. I like to keep my books after I read them, even though I'm not a rereader. I hardly ever go back to the book again, but I just like to have it afterward. So I have a hard time parting with them.
I'll have to try and remember that. Off camera, you talked that you have another job, which we won't really get into, but how have you, those disciplines that you have in the day job, so to speak, how have they translated to your modeling gigs?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I do have a regular job Monday through Friday where I manage people, and I've done that for years. And yeah, I think that it definitely informs my modeling work too, in the sense that I do think of my modeling job as a real job, in the sense that I'm going to show up on time and do my best work and be professional. Um, and it doesn't like kind of strike me as anything different. I also deal with a lot of different personalities in my regular job, which is helpful too, because obviously every photographer is different. Personality, expectations, experience. I've worked with people where I've been their very first model that they've ever worked with, and I've also worked with super experienced people. So um, happy to kind of do either. So I think that in that sense, being around people, being having a lot of responsibilities, all of that kind of stuff sort of informs my work too.
What would you say is your proudest moment? And you can define this however you want.
Oh, hmm, proudest moment. I mean, I've talked about the Peace Corps. That was a huge thing for me. I really enjoyed doing that. I think I'm generally just proud that I've gotten to a point in my life where I'm really doing what I want to do. I'm so happy that I've gotten to experience doing the modeling work and having that creative side, and that's opened up like friends that I would have never met any other way. We just wouldn't have come across each other in a different, kind of activities in life. I'm proud of my regular career as well. I'm glad to have been able to, kind of put both together and do a little bit of everything. And I'm really proud of the friend group that I've sort of cobbled together along the way. I have a lot of friends that I'm really proud of, like that are, have amazing jobs where they're really working to like better the world. I have artistic, creative friends. I think that that diversity is something to be proud of for sure.
Um, if you could change anything about this industry, what would you?
Hmm. I would say kind of a tough question because everybody's going to be different in any industry that
I
we're
understand.
in,
I
but
understand.
I would say just like mutual respect throughout, just, people respecting the modeling work as a job, people respecting, and that I'm sure is both ways also. But yeah, I would just say that piece. Sometimes you come across somebody that, can put you in a bad mood after a conversation with them or something like that. It would be great to be able to avoid some of that, but it definitely doesn't detract from all the good.
All right. Do you think being an art model has an addictive lifestyle? And if so, why? Or why not?
An addictive lifestyle. I don't know. I mean, I definitely, one day when I don't when I'm not doing this anymore, I know that I'm going to miss it. Um, and like I'm going to have to kind of see what kind of creative aspects will take its place. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if like addictive is the word that I would use, but I
What
definitely do
word would
enjoy
you
it.
use?
Um, I mean, it's an enjoyable lifestyle. I mean, it definitely can be tough. I mean, I have less time for social stuff on the weekend when I'm traveling to shoot or things like that. But as long as you're working with people you like, it's still a nice day. And also, kind of, I term it as a brain break sometimes when I can switch to the creative side of stuff for the weekend and then go back to my regular job on Monday. Plus, it's very cool to think that this.
Do you think having that split really helps in that respect?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's really important to use both sides of your brain, whatever that means. If you're into music, if you're into like, I think that using both is really good. I think if I was doing just one, if I was doing just, there have been times where I've done the modeling by itself. I think the longest for like 8 or 9 months. And towards the end of it, I was kind of like, do I still want to do this? Until I got back into doing my regular work and the modeling at the same time. And then I also know if I was only doing the regular work and had no creative outlet, I would also, not be at my best. So I think having both for me is, like I said, it's been 18 years, so I've gotten very used to it.
Fair enough. We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.